overnight when President Pezeshkian posted, "I've instructed my Minister of Foreign Affairs to pursue fair and equitable negotiations guided by the principles of dignity, prudence, and expediency."
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Good Day Chicago.
Good Wednesday morning and welcome to Good Day Chicago. I'm Gabriela Primus.
I'm Brian Jackson. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following this morning.
First with some developing stories where a child is shot on the city's west side.
Chicago leaders making some changes when it comes to the proposed SNAP curfew. What some teenagers now have to say about the new rules.
And taking a live look outside, some places in the Chicago area could be hit with lake effect snow this morning. Mike Kaplan, are we talking about a lot? Are we talking about a little? What do you think?
Here's how, since you use the term hit by lake effect snow, yeah, I think it'd be kind of like that, as opposed to like a full-on punch.
A little tap.
It's a little bit of a tap.
Yeah,
a little bit of a tap. All right, good morning, everybody. There is some lake effect snow falling. I saw a couple of flakes on my drive-in. Interestingly, right now, some of the quote-unquote heaviest lake effect snow is showing up well south of the lake here, kind of on the Illinois-Indiana state line. Not anything more than a coating anywhere across Chicagoland. But today, you may see a few flakes flying. Temperatures will get in the upper 20s this afternoon. Farther away from the lake and especially northwest, you have a better chance of getting some sunshine. We'll be 25 at noon, 27 at 4, and the bigger numbers are coming. I've got at least one 40-degree day to share with you coming up. Back to you.
Now to a developing story out of the city's west side. A 12-year-old boy is in the hospital following a shooting in the Austin neighborhood. It happened Tuesday evening just before 7 p.m. in the 900 block of North Leamington Avenue. Police said that the boy was inside of a vehicle when he was grazed in the head. The boy was taken to the hospital in fair condition. 2 people of interest were taken into custody. And happening now, police are searching for multiple suspects after 2 men were killed and a third was hurt following a shooting outside of a White Castle restaurant.
It happened on the city's near west side. Police say the 3 men were inside a vehicle when they were approached by 3 others with guns. They opened fire into the car. During the shooting, the vehicle caught on fire. A 35-year-old man and a 48-year-old man both died at the scene. A 44-year-old man was sent to the hospital. He's expected to be okay. Fox Chicago obtained scanner traffic of the shooting.
624, show us door. 10-4, he said the person is down by the White Castle, down by a red car. That person shot. Western and Roosevelt as well. I know we got 2, but we got 1 down in the White Castle parking lot as well.
White Castle released a statement saying it is saddened by the senseless violence and is currently cooperating with the Chicago Police Department. The restaurant will remain closed for the time being.
A woman is dead after investigators say that she was shot while visiting UI Health for an appointment. It happened inside the University of Illinois Chicago parking garage, prompting for UIC to send out alerts to students and staff members. Police identified the woman as 34-year-old Shankwanese Kimbrough. No word on what led up to the shooting, but police believe it could be domestic. That incident is still under investigation. The Kankakee County Sheriff's Office says a man accused of killing a bar owner is now in custody. 47-year-old Julius Burks Jr. was arrested in the 6400 block of Rhode Island Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Investigators say that he is responsible for the shooting death of 30-year-old Courtney Drysdale of Moment. On Monday, deputies were called to the bar known as The Line after receiving a report of an unconscious person. By Tuesday afternoon, officials said that Burks had been arrested. Fox Chicago spoke with one of her friends.
Feels like almost like a little bit of a weight lifted off my shoulder that, you know, she's going to get some type of justice, her family's going to get justice, that someone's going to get what they deserve for taking a beautiful soul like hers.
Burks is being held in Indiana while awaiting an extradition hearing to Illinois.
More changes are being made to the proposed SNAP curfew in Chicago. Under the latest version, Chicago police would be allowed to issue a 30-minute warning for teenagers to disperse instead of a 12-hour window. Alderman Brian Hopkins says Mayor Brandon Johnson is collaborating on the updated draft. It was discussed during Tuesday's Public Safety Committee meeting. However, Alderman did not vote on it. Several teenagers spoke out against the proposal, saying the ordinance unfairly targets young people for being in public spaces.
It will affect me because I go to school games that I have programs, and with Communities United I go home a little bit late sometimes, so it definitely affects me on my transportation there. And
And like it's on school nights.
I'm a Muslim. I pray 5 times a day, and we go to the mosque. And very often we go together in groups, and usually it's like groups of youth like me. You know, I go to the mosque with my friends, and if we're passing through a curfew restricted area and a police officer asks us why you're here, it's entirely dependent on that police officer to believe whether or not we're going to the mosque or not.
Fox Chicago reached out to Mayor Johnson's office for comment, but haven't heard back.
Downers Grove is banning ICE from staging immigration operations on village property. Council members passed this ordinance at their meeting. The measure also allows police to respond to calls from residents who are concerned over civil rights violations.
This democratically elected administration is enforcing immigration law, which was democratically passed by Congress. Attempting to obstruct this effort is a subversion of democracy.
You will have done the right thing. You will have stood up for the meek and defenseless. You will be upholding humanity and decency. You will be on the right side of history. And that, my friends, matters.
Several other communities have passed similar measures, including in Lake, Cook, as well as other counties.
A judge in Oregon temporarily restricts federal agents from using tear gas at protests held at the ICE building in Portland. This comes just days after agents launched gas at a crowd of protesters that included young children. The federal judge says agents cannot use chemical or projectile munitions on people who pose no imminent threat, are merely trespassing, or refusing to disperse. Agents have also been limited from firing munitions at the head, neck, or torso unless legally justified. The tear gas restriction is in effect for about 2 weeks. All right, 4:36 now. The NBA trade deadline is almost here, and the Bulls are already getting active.
Busy day about this. My Bulls added a couple of nice pieces and even said goodbye to a couple of veterans.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to miss Vooch for sure. So far, the Bulls have been stockpiling guards in multiple trades. The first move they made, part of a 3-team trade with Detroit, Minnesota. The Bulls get Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley and sent Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric to the Pistons. In a separate trade, the Bulls send Nikola Vucevic to the Celtics in exchange for Anthony Simons and a second-round pick. Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, still prime trade candidates with the clock ticking until tomorrow afternoon. In the meantime, on the court, the Bulls lose to the Bucks big time. Second quarter, Bulls already down by 20. That was a pretty play. Matas Buzelis drives in for the slam, and that cuts the lead to 18 for the Bucks. Later in the second, Kyle Kuzma runs the court, lays it in, plus the foul. He finishes with 31 and 10 rebounds. Bulls go on to lose by 16, 131 to 115. Now, to the NFL. Chicago Bears continue their search for a new offensive coordinator. Reports say they have put in a request to interview Cardinals pass game specialist Connor Singer. He grew up in Milwaukee, went to school at Wisconsin, then UW-Oshkosh, where his coaching career began. Last week, he called plays in the East-West Shrine Bowl. Here's a look at today's sports schedule. The Blackhawks have their final game before the Olympic break. They'll be in Columbus taking on the Blue Jackets. Puck will drop at 6 p.m. our time. Men's college hoops, it'll be Notre Dame taking on number 24 Louisville at 6 p.m. And in Champaign, here's a big in-state matchup. Northwestern taking on 5th-ranked Illinois at 8 p.m. How about women's hoops? Loyola playing Fordham at 5 p.m. And DePaul's going to host number 1 ranked UConn at 7 p.m. Good luck there. UConn pretty much doesn't lose. All right, weather-wise, you can take a look there, and hard to tell, but there is a little bit of lake effect snow coming down. Certainly nothing like what we saw last week. For the kids getting ready for school, they need winter coats and boots and the whole thing. It will be a colder than normal day again today, making it mid to upper 20s. The farther west you are, that is where there's a better chance of seeing some sunshine today and maybe a less of an opportunity to see any kind of snow. It's not a big snow, but throughout the day, could be a couple of snow showers or at least a few flurries. Look at the temperature difference here between where we have cloud cover and where we don't have cloud cover. I mean, this is legitimately cold air. 3 at Rockford, 5 at Woodstock, 8 at Aurora, but it's 18 at O'Hare, 17 at Joliet, and 25 degrees at Gary with a few flakes flying. Not a lot of wind, but you see where the wind winds are coming together here, almost a formation of what we call a mezzo-low that will continue to pull some of those lake effect snow showers to the west this morning. Not a lot, as I mentioned earlier, the quote-unquote heaviest snow is actually showing up now. Southern Cook, eastern Will, and kind of along the state line here between Lake and Kankakee County. Right there is where the bigger snowflakes are likely flying. We'll keep this lake effect snow going here much of the morning, and by afternoon everything kind of shifts to the east, and you can see some breaks in the cloud cover, which is why I think the farther west you are, the more sun you're going to get today. Near the lake, downwind of the lake, will stay a little bit cloudier. Then we get to tomorrow when there's another chance, actually twice, for a little bit of light snow. The first kind of arriving around midday. Then there'll be a secondary shot of possibly some light precipitation coming in late at night into Friday. The 7-day forecast in all of its warm-up glory is just minutes away. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Coming up on Good Day, a Chicago teacher testifies on Capitol Hill.
What she had to say about her encounter with Border Patrol agents when we come back.
Here's a look at some of your top stories this Wednesday morning. We continue to follow a developing story out of the West Side. A 12-year-old boy is in the hospital following a shooting in the Austin neighborhood. It happened Tuesday evening just before 7 p.m. in the 900 block of North Leamington Avenue. 2 people of interest were taken into custody.
And police are searching for multiple suspects after 2 men were killed and a third was hurt following a shooting outside a White Castle restaurant on the city's near west side. A 35-year-old man and a 48-year-old man were killed, while a 44-year-old man was sent to the hospital. He's expected to be okay.
Chicago Bulls making some big moves before the NBA trade deadline. Bulls got Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley. They sent Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric to the Pistons. Then the Bulls traded veteran center Nikola Vucevic to the Celtics for Anthony Simons and a second-round pick. A Chicago teacher testifies in front of Congress about her violent encounter with immigration enforcement agents in Brighton Park. Miramar Martinez told lawmakers that she felt compelled to follow Border Patrol honking her horn to alert her community about their presence. The situation then escalated and she was shot multiple times. Martinez detailed her experience being rushed through treatment for multiple gunshot wounds before eventually being taken into custody. She says that she was shocked and dismayed because she was labeled a domestic terrorist. She claimed that she wasn't intending to hurt anyone.
I heard the government describe me as being armed, even though I knew my gun was always inside my snap closed holster at the bottom of my purse, where I always kept it. The prosecutor told the judge there was no allegation that I took the gun out my purse, but that did not stop DHS from continuing to say I was armed to support.
A federal judge is expected to rule this week whether or not body camera video from the October shooting can be viewed by the public.
A Plainfield family is warning parents and other kids about a new TikTok trend that could lead to severe burns. We want to warn you first, some of these images might be hard to look at. It is for me. This is how a 9-year-old Caleb Jabola's face looked after putting a NATO toy inside a microwave. He tells Fox Chicago his friend tried it first and then he decided to try it one day. It only took seconds for the toy to overheat and explode, sending the 4th grader to a burn center.
Oof.
Definitely a lot better because some of the early pictures were definitely scary. We were worried about his eye, of course, which he was cleared by ophthalmology, which is great.
The material inside is so thick that it holds heat longer because it's thick, and it sticks, and so it stays on the skin longer. And that causes even more problems than, say, a similar temperature water that might slide right off.
Just think before you act, and think before when you're like putting something in the microwave, because you can only put food, and it's more like powerful than the oven and other stuff.
So thankfully he's healing, but to explain it to you guys, this is essentially a little fidget toy. So it's like a plush square and it's filled with some gel inside. So it looks like it was a trend to start microwaving that so it gets hot and have that feeling. So Loyola Medicine says this is the 4th NATO-related burn case that they've treated this year alone. Illinois joins the Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network. It's part of the World Health Organization. The state will now receive direct information on health emergencies around the world. The decision comes after the U.S. left the organization last month. State health leaders say they hope this will keep residents safe from any global outbreaks.
All right, time is now 4:47. Checking in with Mike for a look at the forecast. Some people could be dealing with some snow flurries out there.
Yeah, a little bit of light lake effect snow. Nothing like what we saw last week, which created some major travel headaches for folks. This is going to be light lake effect snow, but it'll continue for the morning hours, maybe even into the early afternoon. Right now, the bulk of this is pretty far south of the lake and moving, say, into Kankakee County, that far south. During the day, I'm not expecting much accumulation, maybe enough to coat the ground in a few spots from the lake effect. Then we have a little system coming in tomorrow morning that could recoat the ground, maybe up to a quarter or so of an inch in some of the northern suburbs. There's no big snowstorm in sight, but a few spots may get a recovering of snow here in the next 36 hours or so. Today, we'll see light lake effect snow. It'll be mostly cloudy. Cloudiest conditions will be near and downwind of the lake. High temperature 28 degrees, about what we saw yesterday. The high was 29, but a few spots actually got in the low 30s. Tonight, cold, 15 degrees under partly cloudy skies. West winds at about 5 to 10. We'll hit 30 tomorrow, maybe a snow shower midday, then another chance for a snow shower at night. That could even mix with a little bit of rain, believe it or not. Friday's high, up above freezing, 35, and that's just the beginning. We'll hit freezing again on Sunday, 38, he says, conservatively on Monday, and 45 on Tuesday. That, too, may be too low. I may have to take those both of those dates, temperatures up a little bit.
Mike, I like it.
Wow, 40s. Well, coming up on Good Day, new technology can help doctors spot cancer hidden in people's bodies.
We'll have all the details on this when we come back. It is interesting. Welcome back. A Chicago doctor is using new breakthrough technology to find a type of cancer that may be hidden. The imaging technology is called Cytolux, and it is the only FDA-approved optical imaging agent designed to help surgeons see what their naked eye might miss. So the technology is able to target and locate the cancer cells by making them glow neon green, like you're seeing here. The doctor then uses near-infrared lighting to see it.
To give us more options to preserve lung tissue for those people, because not only can I find the cancer, but I can also determine exactly how much I should take out at that time, so I can preserve lung tissue and let people breathe easier once the surgery's done. It can also help me identify things like lymph nodes. We're hoping that in time moving forward, we can identify a pathway where we can try to figure out how to see if people have lymph node metastasis in real time as well. And that will allow us, again, a chance to cure not only these early stage lung cancers, but also more advanced stage one.
So this technology has been approved for both lung cancer and ovarian cancer and could be approved for other types of cancers as well.
Sallie Colleges of Chicago opens up a new food market for students. They open Statesman Market, which expands an existing food pantry at Kennedy King College. They partner with the Greater Chicago Food Depository. This pantry offers healthier options. Students can now get fresh produce, protein, and dairy right on campus.
Our students come to Kennedy King with big dreams, and this new expanded and beautiful marketplace helps ensure every student has the support they need to stay enrolled, focused, and thriving.
The market will offer expanded hours during the week.
This July marks America's 250th anniversary, and a group here in Illinois is celebrating with a new initiative. Illinois Humanities is launching America 250. It will bring free programs with diverse speakers to libraries and schools across the state. Organizers say they want everyone to get a chance to commemorate the national milestone.
This year, Illinois Humanities is inviting everyone in. All classes, geographies, races, genders, ethnicities, urban, suburban, rural, small town, incarcerated and immigrant communities. These are our communities. This is our Illinois, and we are part of this nation.
Events are expected to begin later on this year.
Well, people came together on Tuesday to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s historic Chicago Freedom Movement. The event was held at the Kenwood United Church of Christ in Bronzeville. On February 3rd of 1966, Dr. King addressed a packed group of people at the church to later help launch the Chicago Freedom Movement.
All right, this is the update we need. The Brookfield Zoo is providing an update on those adorable Amur leopard cubs. We talked about them a couple months ago. Sadie and Lacey continue to explore their outdoor habitat. Look at them. Nice and majestic. Visitors can catch them burning off the extra energy in the morning at the Big Cat Walkway in the zoo.
Those are some beautiful animals, Mike.
Right.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
That's what they call your hallway, right? The Big Cat Walkway. Mike Kaplan here.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure that they are better equipped maybe for the cold than a lot of us are there. We have had such a stretch of, we've been below freezing since the 16th of January. That is about to change. Not today, but I think by Friday, we get a little bit above freezing. Now today, we got lake effect snow. Again, not like the lake effect snow that we saw last week. Almost all of the stuff that's got a little bit more punch to it is well south of the city, but I am seeing a couple more maybe bona fide snow showers now, kind of going over the Eisenhower. Here's the Stevenson. This is not a big deal in terms of snowfall. Maybe a coating at most is what we would get. Today, temperatures are starting out, kind of depends on where you are. Look at these cold numbers. Woodstock, 6, Rockford, 3, 17, though, at Waukegan. Why is it warmer? Because there's cloud cover. Where the skies have been clear, that is where temperatures are free to tank. 24 at Kankakee, 25 now at Gary, and in Michigan City it is 19 degrees. Highs today should get into the mid to upper 20s pretty much area wide. I'm going to go with a 28. That may be aggressive. If I had to make an adjustment, I would take it down a couple of degrees today. The point is, normal high is 33. We're not there yet. Be patient. It's coming. Take a look at the 7-day forecast. We have a couple more opportunities for some light snow, one of which will be kind of midday tomorrow, then another one late tomorrow night into early Friday morning, and on Friday, we could actually be above freezing. On Saturday, 28 degrees, chance for a little light snow shower at night. That's tied to kind of the leading edge of the warmer air that's on the way. Sunday, we get to freezing, 38 degrees on Monday, and then full on 40-something on Tuesday with that mild air likely to last for the rest of the work week. 4 minutes before 5 a.m. We'll be right back after this.
President Donald Trump signs a roughly $1.2 trillion spending package to end the partial government shutdown. It came just hours after it passed in the House. The measure funds most of the federal government through September 30th, while providing the Department of Homeland Security with short-term funding for 2 weeks. Lawmakers will continue to negotiate possible changes for ICE operations.
NBC's Savannah Guthrie won't host this year's Winter Olympics. Police are still investigating her mother's disappearance. Nancy Guthrie was first reported missing on Sunday in Tucson, Arizona. Investigators believe she was taken from her home against